KD, probably best player in the world. Trying to say that was unfair, and then you go a year where you win. They win 15 games, and then last year not being able to get to the playoffs, and for everything to come back together the way it did with me leaving and then coming back, and different role, different capacity, and then having amazing teammates, and a different set of like supporting cast. This guy right here was huge for us. Earned himself a big payday this summer. Really happy for him, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, the growth of those guys. But more than anything, Steph. I think he solidified himself today. As not even today, just his career as the best point guard of all time.
Next question in the middle.
This is Daniel Bell, BSO. This is for Gary. Saw the picture with you and your dad. First off, what does it mean to be able to bring another championship to the family? And then how special is it to be able to share that moment with your dad who played in this league?
It's huge. It's crazy. Never would have thought, something like this would happen. And I think I got mine sooner than he got his. So yeah, and I'm 1 for 1. So we're gonna try to keep it that way. But it's something to talk about, and I can get my stuff off against him now. So it's good.
We'll go to Shane in the middle.
Hey, Andre. Shane Young with Ford Sports. What's it mean to see how Draymond kind of started the series rocky, had a few bumps in the road, but for him to come out and be impactful on both ends of the floor, defensively, disrupting everything tonight? Like, what's his leadership been like for you all throughout this entire journey?
Yeah, you talk about the fabric of this team throughout the last 8 years, and I've been saying this over and over. Those three guys have had this league in the chokehold, in the headlock for a good period of time. And you go historically, there aren't too many teams that have been able to do that. It's a handful. You had the Celtics, obviously, a few times, the Lakers, the Bulls. The Spurs was a little bit more spread out, and they were able to, they did an amazing job as an organization. But what we did, you're watching Winning Time, It's Magic, 30 for 30, The Last Dance. All those things stand the test of time, but it's only a few of those, and this falls right in line with that, and that's probably the most beautiful thing. And you need to have a certain type of fabric, and Draymond was, the balance between two guys who grew up in the NBA. When they aren't enamored by the world we live in as professional athletes and the glitz and the glamour. And our culture with the Warriors is, a little more carefree and loose, but sometimes that can take you out. Looking last year, not making the playoffs, how many turnovers they had, in the last 2 games to get in. And I think Draymond's discipline, his hunger, his focus, his tenacity is a great balance to those two guys. So it's the yin and the yang, and he doesn't get enough credit for, his brain and the IQ he brings to the game of basketball. It's such a beautiful thing for him to. We knew he was gonna come together. I talked about it in my podcast, Point Forward, where I wasn't worried about Draymond. I think game 4 they said he didn't play well. How many points he have game 4? He had 2 points, 4 points, but he had 8. He had 8 points and he had 8 rebounds, 9 assists or something. He was a triple double without the points, and the guys had a triple double without points. How many times has that happened in NBA history? So he's brass and he is who he is. But when you need him, he shows up. And tonight, that triple double alert was right there, and just really happy for him and his future as the new media. The sky's the limit for him.
Next question here in the middle.
Mauro Bevacqua, Sky Sport Italy. 7 years ago today, you won your very first championship. How much has stayed the same? How much has changed throughout this long journey?
Well, if anything, the foundation is stayed the same, and it's a strong foundation. And you hear about that. The foundation you build on determines the strength of the structure of the building. And like I said, with Steph, Clay, Draymond, what they've done in this league, and the foundation they've been able to build, you got to give them a lot of credit. And in 100 years, you're going to be talking about some of the best players and teams and foundations. And those 3 guys, they did a template of how do you build championship pedigree.
Next question, Maddie on the right.
Gary, you were gonna apply for a video coordinator role at the beginning of the season. You were a fringe player for the last few years. I mean, to be here, be an NBA champion, how surreal is this moment for you?
It's just crazy. You know, just a journey. It's been a big learning, you know, experience for me, and I appreciate every moment I had, all the falls, you know, just to you know, just help me build on, you know, just sticking with it and just keep going. So I'm still speechless right now. Is just crazy right now.
Dalton in the middle.
Hey, Andre, Dalton Johnson, NBC Sports Bay Area. You just said that Steph solidified himself as the best point guard of all time.
Mhm.
People debate, you know, greatest players ever, all that stuff. But when you think about the influence and the impact he's made on the game, would you put him up there with on the Mount Rushmore of the NBA and for how he's going forward?
100%. And you talk about his size. You've never seen a guy his size dominate the league like this, you know, and just to put the weight of everything on his shoulders throughout a final series. You know, like we all saw what he was doing to them boys. It was like, you know, normally you get a guy that's a center, like an Akeem or a Shaq or Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. You know, those guys are 6'7" and taller, and you know they can get to their spots, they can shoot over guys. But the guy his height, who's you know vertically challenged, they would say, just you saw it. We all saw it. It was just incredible. You know, he had a pull up in the third quarter from deep. You know, he had a look away three. You know, pardon my back three. You know, he'd shoot it and walk away. I mean, that's just probably my favorite part of, you know, one of the favorite parts of my career from being drafted, playing Olympics and all these things, is just to see that talent like that. And I've said it time and time again. You know, we're getting away from appreciating, you know, I call them gods, but you know that very unique talent, generational talents, because we're so close to them, we don't appreciate them as much. And when he's gone, we're really going to miss him and forget, you know, how much of an impact, not just on, you know, the Warriors or the NBA, but on the entire globe. Like, you know, he made the world move.
Thank you, guys.
Who's coming up here, Clay? Hey, I just want to say what up to the gang. Shout out to Vegas. Hey, this is the gang right here. Shout out.